Namaskaram.
Namaskar, Raghuji.
Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirbindam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Gurupadam Padam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्रीमेधादक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम
Namaskaram, Mama. Namaskaram to everybody.
कृष्णाया क्लिष्टकाधिने नमो वेदांत वेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्ज भास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं सहस्रमूर्ते पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्त्यै. Namaste to everybody.
Namaskaram, Mama. Namaskaram to everybody.
Namaskaram.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. So we are seeing this shloka Paramamyo Mahattejah Paramamyo Mahat Brahma Paramamyo Paramamyo Mahattapah Paramamyo Mahat Brahma Paramamyaf Parayanam. This shloka we are seeing. And in that we have already seen the meaning of Paramamyo Mahattejah. And in the last class we were seeing the meaning of Paramamyo Mahattapah. And Adi Shankara interpreted the meaning of the word tapah, tapas, as Agnya Payati and Ishte. So he gave two meanings. And we discussed about what this Agnya Payati means. It means to order, to ordain, to command. Agnya Payati. That is the meaning we saw for Agnya Payati. Okay. So now the second meaning which he gives is Ishte. That also briefly we saw what it means. It means the one who rules, who governs. Ishte. So Agya Payati means commands or issues orders. Ishte means who rules and governs. So there's a difference between the two. A commander-in-chief may have the authority to command and give order, but he may not be the ruler. The king is the ruler who has got both. He has got the authority to command, that is give orders, and also to govern or rule. So that is how we have to understand these two meanings together, Agya, Payati and Ishte. Okay. So Ishte means governs. And he actually, Adi Shankara derives this meaning and he quotes a mantra from Mandukya Upanishad for this meaning. Tasya Aishwaryam Anavacchinnam iti Mahatvam, he says. Okay. So Tasya Aishwaryam. Aishwaryam means, if you remember when we saw the meaning of Bhagavan, one of the qualities of Bhagavan was Aishwarya. Right? If you remember, we discussed 6 qualities. Aishwaryam was one of them. Right? Aishwaryam is what? Ishwarasya Bhavaha is Aishwarya. So Ishte, he brings that meaning of Aishwaryam from this Mandukya Upanishad mantra. Okay. Tasya Aishwaryam. So Aishwaryam means what? Sovereignty, possessing power or supremacy. you can say. The state of being a mighty lord, the king, the one who has got the power to govern. He is the one who we can say is not Aishwarya. When people name their children Aishwarya and all that, that is probably what they have in mind. Or they may just say, it's a nice name, cosmetically very nice, so let us have Aishwarya without knowing the meaning of what is Aishwarya. Okay. Anyhow, even the word Swami more or less means the same, but in the word Swami, it is governing over one's own self. The one who has actually reached the stage where he can govern his own self, all his activities, everything is completely controlled by him. Whatever he thinks, whatever he speaks, whatever he does, he is a Swami. Okay. Swa means the self. Okay. And it's Amin, some pratyaya is there. Swami means. So the one who rules over himself is a Swami. Complete command over all his activities. Okay. And for that, what he has to be a treasure house of knowledge. He should know everything. That is why Mahatmas and all, we call them Swami. Swami Dayananda Saraswati, Swami Paramarthananda. What does that Swami means? Only those who have really achieved that state can be called a Swami. Otherwise, colloquially, we call everybody Swami, Swami, and all. That Swami doesn't mean anything. Real Swami is the one who has complete control over all his activities, physical, mental, and intellectual. He is the Swami. Okay. And he says, Anavachinnam. Anavachinnam means without any boundaries. Because even the king has got a power to govern or power to rule within a given geographical area. Isn't it? He cannot have a power to rule over other kingdoms. Whereas here, the one which Bhishma ji is referring to, Yaha Paramam Tapaha, the one who is the mightiest, the supreme Lord, he is got the power to govern Anavachinnam without any limit, without any boundaries. The entire cosmos he rules. And that's what we keep on referring to, Ishvara's order, Ishvara's order. Every aspect of the cosmos is within the order of Ishvara. It functions like that. It has to function like that. It cannot move here or there even a wee bit. Okay. So once we say that he is the one, then what else is there to say? No? Everything comes under his governing power. Ishvara's governing. Then he gives one more adjective, Mahatvam. Mahatvam means greatness or majesty. Esha Sarveshwaraha also he says. And in fact, this Esha Sarveshwaraha are the first two words of the mantra from Mandukya Upanishad. Okay. He does not quote the full mantra. He assumes that we have come to Vedanta after doing all studies of Upanishads and Veda mantras and all that. So if he says Esha Sarveshwaraha, means we will immediately connect it to the Mandukya Upanishad mantra. At his time, probably he did not know that people who have not gone through this, the study of the Vedas also can take up the study of the Upanishads independently. Even though studying all the Vedas and then coming to the Vedanta and then doing all the Vichara is the best way to do it. But it is not necessary given the circumstances of today's world. Because of the lack of that, one should not be denied the opportunity of seeking moksha. Understanding what moksha is and abiding in that understanding. one should not be denied that opportunity. And that is why Mahatmas like Swami Chinmayananda and Swami Dayananda Saraswati and all, they have been so compassionate that they actually opened up this entire Upanishad teaching, Bhagavad Gita teaching to all the people. They made it very popular. Before Swami Chinmayananda's time, it was very difficult. The only, ashrams and all which were there in Rishikesh, or even for that matter, Swami Vivekananda's Ramakrishna Mutt, the admission criteria, there are very strict admission criteria. First of all, women will not be admitted during those times. And then even when men are admitted, then they have to fulfill certain criteria of having gone through Veda Patashala and learned these Vedas and things like that. It was Swami Chinmayananda who actually, to the best of my knowledge, who actually opened up this entire knowledge which is contained in the Upanishads for general public consumption. And his thinking was, I will just open it up. Those who are really interested, those who are driven by their past vasanas will automatically get attracted. Other people, they will listen, at least they will have the benefit of in this life getting that knowledge, listening to it, forming certain vasanas and certain samskaras which may help them in their future lives. Because as I keep saying, the journey of every jiva is towards moksha only. Every jiva, birth after birth he or she may take, or it may take, whether it is plant or animal or all are jivas. All jivas are moving towards moksha only. That is the ultimate goal, parayanam. But everybody is in a different stage in this journey. Because every human birth gives an opportunity to fast track this journey. So those jivas who make use of that opportunity to fast track this journey during that human birth may be able to go ahead of others. Some other jivas who, even though they have got a human birth where this opportunity has been afforded to them, they will deny themselves this opportunity and then continue to punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, and whatever janma you take, whether it is this human body or animal body or worm body or plant body, suffer all the consequences of this punarapi jananam. So this is how we have to actually be very grateful to Swami Chinmayananda that we are today sitting here and able to read the Shankara Bhashyam and then understand what Adi Shankara has said. And of course, we have also to be very grateful to Swami Dayananda Saraswati, who was Swami Chinmayananda's disciple. And he further, spread this around, setting up an ashram in Coimbatore and all that. And because of which I have been fortunate enough to, gain some knowledge and make a little more progress in the spiritual journey. So why I am saying all these things is that I don't even remember from where I started. So this knowledge as such is, very restricted knowledge, not available to anybody. Okay. So we were seeing Sarva Esha Sarveshwaraha. The full mantra is Esha Sarveshwaraha, Esha Sarvagyaha, Esha Antaryami, Esha Yonihi Sarvasya Prabhavapyayauhi Bhutana. This is the full mantra. Adi Shankara, I said that he thinks that we all know this mantra. Okay, that's where I started. Yeah. So this mantra, what is it? Esha Sarveshwaraha, Esha Sarvagyaha. Sarveshwaraha means what? Is the Almighty, the Supreme Lord. Sarva Ishwara. Yesha Sarvagnya, omniscient, all knowledge. Sarvam Janati iti Sarvagnya. Yesha Antaryami, he is the inner soul of every being, innermost soul, the Atma as they call it, right? Yesha Sarvasya Yonihi, he is the uterus or the womb of this entire universe. As we saw, Maya, is it a sound which is coming from my laptop? Okay. See, Maya is a partner with Brahman in creating this universe. And this Maya, after Pralayam, before creation, is in a seed form. That is what being referred to as a Yonihi. No, it is in a seed form, in a potential form. So he is that Ishvara with Maya is that. Sarvasya Yonihi. Then Bhutanam Prabhavapyayav means he is the creator and also the destroyer of all creatures. This is the explanation of Ishte. Means what? Everything is the one who is driving it in this entire universe, entire creation, right from Srishti to through Sthiti and to Laya, to Pralaya. It is all under his, he rules over everything, reigns over everything. Okay. So Ishte means ruler, governor. So it has to be understood in the context of this mantra which Adi Shankara has quoted. Ityadi Shrutehe. Ityadi Shrutehe means these are the Shruti mantras which he has quoted. Here and all he is just quoting one or two mantras. But later on when we will see in one sloka, for one meaning 40, 50 slokas he quotes. Of course, we will not go through.
Raghuji, sorry to interrupt. This, can you tell me the reference for the Mandukya? What is the, it doesn't say the number. It says Mandukya Upanishad 6 means what? Can you, if you don't mind, if I'm not asking you too much.
I don't have the reference number. I also don't remember offhand what is the mantra.
Okay, that's fine. I thought if you remember, because I have the text, I'm following Swamiji's Mandukya, this thing, but I don't recall. So I wanted to go back to my.
What you can do is, you can probably go and Google Esha Sarveshwara. If you
okay,
Google
I
that,
see.
you
Okay,
may
thank you.
get this mantra in the Google. Then you will get the reference number. That's what I do normally when I want to know the reference number. Okay.
Thank you for the tip. I appreciate. Sorry to cut in because I just was
Any
very
2 or 3
interested.
words you pick up and then type on the Google, then you will get the mantra. 99%.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So this is the meaning of this tapas, param tapah. Now he goes to the next one, paramam brahma. Paramam yo mahat brahma. That meaning he now takes up. Okay. He says paramam. Paramam, here he gives a slightly different meaning for paramam. Satyadi lakshanam, he says. Brahma mahaniyataya mahat. That is Brahma. Okay, so that's what he says. So Paramam, he says, Satyadi Lakshanam. Adi Padat he uses. Adi means what? Etc. or like. Right? Satyadi Lakshanam means the one who has got the attributes like attributes of Satya, etc. Satya means what? Sat. Sat Chit Ananda. That is what he is referring to here as Satyadi Lakshanam. Okay. Satyam, Taittiriya Upanishad says, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. What is Brahma? Brahma is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, which we can translate is as pure existence, Satyam. Jnanam is Chit, pure consciousness or pure awareness or pure knowledge. And Anantam is limitless And in Anantameva Anandam, it is only limitlessness which gives us, pure happiness. So, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam is what Adi Shankara is referring here. Satyadi Lakshanam. He has got Taittiriya Upanishad mantra in mind. Okay. And we have to understand here, and I have already mentioned it one of the earlier talks. When we talk of existence of anything, we must understand that nothing in this world has got existence of its own. Everything that we experience as existing are nothing but names and forms only. Their existence is borrowed from Brahman. So this Satyam aspect of this Brahman is what lends existence to everything in this world. If the Brahman was not there, there won't be any world at all. Of course, that is doesn't. It's a hypothetical situation, because Brahman was there even before the first creation happened, and he will be there after the last creation ends, or the ends also. So Brahman will always be there, because that is pure existence. It's a principle, existence principle. That's what we have to understand. So as we progress, we have to take our focus away from all these material objects, all these objects which we experience, to higher levels of focusing on the principles behind all these existence. The principle of pure consciousness, which is making this entire cosmos or universe sentient. So we have to move our own thinking, our own understanding to that level. From a Vyavaharika level to a Paramarthika level, to put it in a Vedantic language. Okay. And how do we experience this pure existence? We experience it in the form of the word is we use. Whenever we say the fire is, the air is, the water is, the laptop is, the clock is, the book is, that isness. Because is means what? We are saying that that exists. That isness is what is pure existence. That we must understand. When we say was, that is not pure existence. But there is question of was doesn't come, because nothing, all these names and form can change into another form and another name, but isness will always remain. For example, a piece of wood is there, we say wood is, but that wood is burnt. Now wood is gone, but in its place ashes have come. So what we'll say, ashes is or ashes are. So that isness will go on, will never end. Because matter can neither be created nor destroyed. That is what, even science accepts it. So matter can change its form. Energy can change its form, but it will never be destroyed. So the isness of that can never ever be destroyed. And that isness is what we call Satyam. That is what we call pure existence. So this is one of the attributes of what we call Brahman. We will see Brahman next. Paramamyo Mahat Teja Paramamyo Mahat Brahma. Here we are seeing that. Next Brahman we will discuss. So that Brahma, he says Mahat, right? So that is the eastness. We must understand one of the aspects of Brahman. That's why he says Satyadi Lakshanam. So here Paramam he means he is referring to Brahman. He is the highest, all pervading, Vishnu, right? Vishnu, Vyapana Shila, he is. Okay. So that is how we have to understand this word Satyadi Lakshanam. We have seen so many examples earlier also, water, gold and all that. I don't want to repeat those examples. So one thing we have to understand that everything that we experience in this world is only the name and form. They have a borrowed existence borrowed from Brahman, the pure existence principle, which is also called Kevala Sat, pure existence, called Kevala Sat. Okay. And this eastness is not an object. Eastness always has to be attached to an object, but eastness itself is not an object. Isn't it? So we have to understand, there are very subtle things of Vedanta. So what we have, this eastness is only to be cognized, to be understood. That's why they say Brahman is not an object. Brahman is to be understood. That's why intellectually you have to know this Brahman. Okay. And Vedanta says that that eastness is the pure, that's absolute reality. If you want to talk about reality in this entire universe, there is only one reality, and that is Brahman. Every object that we experience is a superimposition on that reality. And that is how we are experiencing those objects as existing. This is the process which happens. Everything is a superimposition. Okay. And because of that, it appears to be a real. I mean, in Vedanta, there is one very beautiful example it is given. You have a crystal, right? Crystal is pure. It has no color, no hue, nothing. But if you actually keep a flower, say a red color flower, near the crystal assumes the color red. It will appear red. If you remove the flower, the crystal will have its own form. So this is an example which gives the super to make us understand what is the superimposition means. This crystal and flower example is given. Okay. Of course, this is not a Vedanta class, so I cannot go too deep into all these examples. Okay. So that is what is, that is the absolute reality. Paramarthika Satyam is this Brahman. Satyadi Lakshanam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Or Sat, Chit and Ananda. Both ways we can understand that. Both mean the same thing only. And gaining this knowledge of this absolute reality as Sat, Chit, Ananda is what is called self-knowledge. And that is what Upanishad says will give you the understanding of what moksha is. And you can get that understanding in this life itself. You don't need to die for that purpose. Okay. And the is a Satya, this is Chit aspect, this is a consciousness aspect, is another attribute of that Brahman. In fact, Vedanta says Sat is equal to Chit, Chit is equal to Sat. Without Chit, Chit refers to consciousness. Consciousness refers to all the living beings. Because these three attributes, Sat, Chit and Ananda, For them to manifest, it requires a certain medium. They all three will not manifest in all mediums. And what is the medium? Whatever material objects are there, including our body, mind, sense complex, is the medium through which the Sat, Chit and Ananda, they manifest. So what happens? All inanimate objects which are there, like rocks are there. What other inanimate object we can, soil. Okay. All these things, they have only one, they manifest only one aspect of the Brahman, which is Sat aspect, existence aspect. All living beings, they manifest two aspects of Brahman, Sat and Chit. Consciousness, which gives the sentiency. They are able to, all living beings are able to grow, to move around, to do all that they are supposed to do or ordained to do as per the Ishvara's order. They are able to do because of the Chitta aspect, the sentience. To do anything, you require certain knowledge. Even animals, even though they are driven by their instinct, but they have certain knowledge built in that instinct itself. I mean, as they say, a dog can smell the fear in a person and then attack him. This is what they say, you know, because when we are afraid, there is a certain, I don't know what it is, a chemical or something like that, which is generated by our body. It's a smell probably when we have fear. And that smell, the dog can instinctively sense and know that you are afraid of it. And that's why when they say that if you see a dog, don't be fearful of that. Just walk past it, it won't do anything to you. But if you exhibit fear, it will bark at you and chase you. So even animals, they are given certain instincts with certain knowledge. Even tigers and all, we know they mark their territory in the jungle and all that. And they remember that this is my territory and they will not allow anything else to come in within their territory. So all sentient beings have got certain knowledge, even though animals, etc., are driven by instincts. But the Sat and Chit, existence and consciousness, are manifesting in all living beings. Then the third aspect, Ananda, manifests only in human beings. So we must understand that it is only in this human form that we can manifest the entire, all three aspects of Brahman, Sat, Chit and Ananda. And just to connect very briefly, Aham Brahmasmi, when you say, keep this in mind, that Brahman, all attributes of Brahman can be manifested only in this human form. All three aspects. Okay. So that is what it is. So he says Paramam Satyadi Lakshanam Brahma, that I have seen, we have seen rather, right? And that is why, you know, Puja Swamiji keeps on repeating this. This entire cosmos is all, you can divide them into only Sat, Sat and Chit, Sat Chit Ananda. These are the three things, and all are Brahman, which is Ishvara, or we can say God. So if you analyze everything in this cosmos, all will fall under one of these three categories. And that is how we have to understand there is only Ishvara in this. That's why Swamiji says, even to say that there is only one God is wrong. He says there is only God. Everything is nothing but a manifestation of that God, that Ishvara, that Brahman. in one form or the other. Okay. So after explaining this Paramam Brahma, now Acharya is explaining the meaning of the word Mahat. We have already seen Mahat means big, superlatively big, right? Mahat also has got a meaning which is called exalted or eminent, glorious. That meaning is also there for the word Mahat. And that is the meaning he takes here. He doesn't take the meaning of, big. He takes the meaning exalted. Mahaniyataya, he says, right? Mahaniya means praiseworthy, glorious, illustrious fame. All dictionary meanings, Mahaniya. Including people who deserve to be honored. Eminent people who deserve to be honored, they are also called Mahaniya. Okay. So by taking that meaning here, Acharya is pointing out that in our life, this absolute reality, this Brahman is the Param Brahma. That the Param Brahma alone is to be honored, is the most eminent entity in our life. We should focus only on that entity. And we should move our focus away from all these objects which are there, objects of our experience, which are nothing but superimpositions on that Brahman. So he says, go to the root, go to the ultimate. Don't stop in between, just seeing this object, getting attracted by this object and all. Get attracted by that Brahman. That is what is going to give you liberation. These objects are going to make you more and more limited, more and more miserable. That is what, because endless objects, endless desires, endless pursuits. As we say, the entire samsara, life of becoming from one thing to another, that will never ever give you any liberation. That will only keep you bound in all these limited things. What will liberate you is the one which is itself liberated, which is Brahman, eternally liberated. So the one who is liberated only can give you liberation. All these objects which are by nature limited in their limited, how can they make you limitless? That is what the whole focus of the Shastra is, and that is what he is focusing here also, right? So our goal in life should be that Paramam Brahma alone. And this is what, those who understand the meaning of the Gayatri mantra also. Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. That is what we pray every day. Those who do Sandhyavandanam regularly and do the Gayatri Japa regularly, this is whether you know the meaning or you don't know the meaning. What you are praying means, Varenyam means that which is to be chosen as a goal in life. So instead of choosing all material wealth, comforts, etc., fame, etc., Devasya Bhargaha, the effulgence of that Deva. Dhimahi, meditate. I am meditating on that. So this is all. Gayatri mantra is a very profound mantra. Once you understand the meaning of Gayatri mantra, whenever you are doing the Gayatri japa, that entire meaning that you bring into your mind, then the effect of that will be totally different in terms of your spiritual journey. Okay. So now he goes to Paramam Yaf Parayanam. He says Paramam Prakrishtam. Punaravritti Shankha Rahitam. Parayanam, he says Param Ayanam Parayanam. Parayanam, we have already seen the meaning when Yudhishthira asked that question. Kim ekam parayanam, we saw that meaning of parayanam. Okay. So here for paramam, he takes the meaning prakrishtam, right? Exceptional, extraordinary. Adi Shankara, he makes sure that he will take, if a word has got 4 meanings, he will use all the 4 meanings in some context, or he will bring it into his bhashya. So here he is taking the meaning, paramam means extraordinary, superior, exceptional, right? And he explained this as Pudara Vritti Shanka Rahitam. Shanka means doubt. Rahitam means without. So without doubt, Pudara Vritti means the repetition. Pudara Vritti means basically repetition. Here is referring to rebirths, which occurs again and again and again, right? So Punaravritti Shanka Rahitam means without any doubt regarding repetition of recurrence of rebirth. Taking another body and experience all these dukkha's once again, all sorrows and miseries once again in another body. It could be any body. Okay. Because scriptures say, Yatra Yatra Shariram Tatra Tatra Dukkham. As long as you are having a body, you cannot avoid sorrow and misery. Dukkha you cannot avoid. This is the awareness of the scriptures. Whatever may be the type of this body, even the body of devas, they say that deva is very, very happy and all that kind of thing. But when the punya, the accumulated punya, because of which a jiva become a deva or devendra, let us say, when that is getting exhausted, and that jiva has to come back to the earth and take another body, that itself is a feeling of sorrow, isn't it? In fact, that's the worst sorrow. Suppose you have been used to living in a palatial house with so many servants and things like that and all. And then one fine day something happens and you have to move to a small cottage like a hut. No servants, nothing, everything you have to do yourself. And this is not just an imagination. I have seen one person like that in my life. That is the one I can recall. Very, all doing all the hanky-panky business only. How long that will last, this hanky-panky business? One fine day, the law caught up with him, took away everything. Children, wife, family came to the streets rather. And this fellow used to drink also a lot. He died after some time, after all this thing. So what I'm saying is, even if you are in the Indra Loka, that dukkha will not leave you. Yeah, you can be there only temporarily. Permanently, you cannot go to Indra Loka or any Vaikunta and all that. No permanent residence there. Okay, so I'm moving away from Advaita to Dvaita. So our prayer should be what? That, hey Ishvara, let this be my last birth. I don't want another birth. That should be our prayer. But prayer alone is not enough. We must work towards that also. Ishvara is not going to say Tathastu and then everything is over. That's not going to happen. Ishvara will say, yes, let me see whether you qualify for that. It is the Paramayanam, I understand. It is the goal which I myself have talked about in all the Upanishads. And I am happy that you have at least identified that as your goal in your life, in this human life. But you have to work towards that goal. Let me see how much work you put in, and then we will decide whether you will have another birth or at the time nearer to this body falling. Okay. So Paramam Prakrishtam, he has said, Punaravritti Shankarahitam. That is no doubt regarding being born again. And this rebirth, we can understand both from the Dvaita perspective and Advaita perspective also. Okay. From the Dvaita perspective, we have to actually understand it as what they call Sayujya Mukti or Salokya Mukti. That is, the Jivatma after leaving this body travels to Vaikunta or another loka of any Ishta Devata, could be Kailasa. If he is a Shaivite, he will say, I will go to Kailasa. If he is a Vaishnavite, he will say, go to Vaikunta. There is no reason why a Vaishnavite should not go to Kailasa and a Shaivite should not go to Vaikunta. No reason. But they have got their own preferences. A Vishnu follower has to go to Vaikunta only. In fact, it will be blasphemous if we suggest that you are going to Kailasa. Concept is same for both. That is their Paramatma's place, their Dvaita Paramatma's place. But they will not, interchange the destination. Anyhow. So their belief is once they go there, they will merge with the Paramatma. So they will not have a rebirth. That is what their concept is. This is there in the Puranas and all that. But Puranas are what? Most diluted. It's more entertainment kind of a thing. Just to keep people, the purpose of Purana is to keep people in the spiritual path. If we don't even have these Puranas and all that, forget Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad class, nobody will come. Even when we say Vishnu Sahasranamam and Bhashyam and all that, very difficult for people to appreciate all these things. And when you say Adi Shankara, means they know that if they know it is going to be Advaita, then they will certainly not come. So Puranas and all talk about this going to Vaikunta, Sayujya Mukti and Salokya Mukti and all that. But there is another which Advaita Vedanta talks, a kind of Mukti, which is called Krama Mukti. And this Krama Mukti, what it says is that certain jivas, because of their high, advanced spiritual pursuit and lot of punyas in their account, when the body falls, those jiva go to Brahma Loka. Not Indra Loka, Vishnu Loka, Brahma Loka it goes. And in Brahma Loka, they will be there. Suppose if their punya gets exhausted while in Brahma Loka, they will come back. But suppose they have got enough punya to continue till the end of this creation, this cycle of creation. What the Shastra say is that towards the end of the creation, Brahmaji himself will give this knowledge of the self, this Atma Jnanam to those jivas, and then they will get liberated. They will not have rebirth. This is talked about in the Vedanta Shastras also. Krama Mukti it is called. Krama Mukti means liberation in stages. So first stage going to Brahmaloka, next stage is getting liberated by gaining knowledge from Brahmaji himself. So that is one methodology which is talked about in Vedas. But this Salokya Mukti and Sayujya Mukti are not talked about in Puranas. We are here studying Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta and all that. So from a Dvaita perspective, I just wanted to highlight that this is also there. I mean, people have these kind of beliefs. And from Advaita Siddhanta point of view, what all the Upanishads are emphasizing is that even though there is this Krama Mukti process, but don't depend on that because you do not know how much punya you have got. Krama Mukti does not guarantee no rebirth. Probably you can put some probability which is 50-50. If you go to Brahmaloka, 50% chances you will come back here or 50% chances you will get liberated. Whereas here in this life, if you gain that Atma Jnana, gain that knowledge of the self, and you abide in that knowledge, then the Shastras are guaranteeing that you will get liberated in this life itself, and that is what is called a Jivan Mukta. Liberated while living itself. So that is the best course which the Upanishads advise. And Upanishads actually extol people. They say, you have got this human birth, my dear, don't waste it. You can do this pursuit of this Atma Jnanam only in the human body. We do not know after how many births and after taking how many different types of bodies, you have got this human birth now, don't waste it. We have no guarantee that next birth is going to be a human birth. So at least start this process in this birth. That is what the Upanishads are advising. In fact, Chandogya Upanishad and all goes, and in fact, it castigates people who don't, who are not in the spiritual path, or who don't use this opportunity to choose this Parama Ayanam, this ultimate goal in their life. That's why Adi Shankara calls Mudha Mate. Those people, he calls them Mudha Mate in some places. Okay. So what the instant mukti in this life itself is called Sadhyo Mukti. Immediate mukti in this life itself, now and here. So whereas the Dvaita perspective talks about Sayujya Mukti and Salokya Mukti, from Advaita perspective, we have got Krama Mukti and Sadhyo Mukti, in which the Sadhyo Mukti is the most marketed by the Upanishads. Marketed in the sense that they advise, Upanishads, Upadesha is go for the Sadhyo Mukti in this human life. Okay. As I told you in the other class, the ultimate understanding is that there is nothing called moksha. I am ever free. I have been eternally free only. It is a notion. It's a misconception that I took myself to be bound. Self-knowledge is nothing but gaining that knowledge. This I am not bound. That's all. That is what is liberation is. Okay. So this is what is Param Ayanam Parayanam. He says Paramam Ayanam, Parama Purushartha, the ultimate goal in life. And Ayanam also, the word has got two meanings. One is a path, another is a goal. Like we have got Uttarayanam, Dakshinayanam means the path. The what's it, northern path, southern path and all. It's there. Which is, again, this you must understand. We say Uttarayana Kalam, Dakshinayana Kalam. And how do we explain that? We say that the sun moves from north, from the central position to the south is Dakshinayanam. Then from that position towards north is Uttarayana. This is what we say. But is that the reality? Does the sun move? Sun doesn't move. We are superimposing the movement on the sun because of our lack of knowledge or ignorance, or at least recognition of our knowledge. We have knowledge that the sun is fixed, it doesn't move. It's a star, it cannot move. What moves is the earth, and which gives us some sort of a feeling that the sun is moving towards north and sun is moving towards south. A beautiful example of superimposition. Similarly, this day and night, sunrise, sunset, we superimpose all these things on the sun, whereas sun never rises, sun never sets. It is the earth which sets and the earth which rises. We set and we rise. But what we do in all our vyavahara, we are superimposing all these things on the sun, and say sun is rising, sun is setting, and all that. This is how we have to understand how all these objects in this world are superimposed on this Brahman, and because of that existence of that Brahman is being borrowed by these objects, we take these objects as existing as real. In fact, none of them have got any reality of their own. This is how we have to understand this entire cosmos. This is how we have to understand Ishvara. Ishvara is the only reality. Nothing else is real, including you and me, our body, mind complex. You are a reality. If you understand that you are not different from Ishvara, then you are a reality. If you do not have that understanding, you are also not real. That is how we have to understand this entire, not only Vishnu Sahasranamam, all of our scriptures say the same thing only. Okay, we'll see more of them. So that Parayanam means, as I told you, that is one this thing, which is Uttarayanam, Dakshinayanam, which means a path, a road. Another meaning is that Ayanam means a goal, ultimate goal. Param Ayanam means ultimate goal. Okay. And Adi Shankara adds one footnote after this Bhashyam. He says, the word Paramam is used again and again in this particular sloka to negate everything which is not Param. Means you cannot attribute any meaning to any of the words in this sloka which is Aparam, not Param. For example, when it is said Paramam Tejaha, it is to distinguish between the light of pure consciousness from the light of all other luminous bodies. Because the light of consciousness, you have no comparison. The light of consciousness is what is lending the light to all the other luminous bodies. And all those lights are all Aparam Teja, not Param Teja, Paramam Teja. So he makes it a point that you must not get, carried away by seeing a very bright star or a bright sun and all that. Oh, Paramam Teja means should be like a brightness of the sun. He says no. So keep that in mind, that this Paramam is repeated to indicate that there is only one effulgence of its own kind in this entire universe. So Teja should not be understood as any other kind of light like sunlight, etc. All other Teja or Aparam Teja, only Param Brahma, the light of that knowledge, light of that pure consciousness is Paramam Teja. Okay. All others are we call Jada Prakasha. This is Chitta Prakasha. Okay. So that should be read like that. And then he also adds that the word Yaha or Yo, which is occurring, Paramam Yo Mahat Teja, Paramam Yo Mahat Tapaha, like that, the Yo should be read as Yo Devaha in all the places. Means, in the sloka, Paramam Yo Mahat Teja, Paramam Yo Mahat Tapaha, Paramam Yo Mahat Brahma, Paramam Yaf Parayanam should be understood as Paramam Yo Devaha, Paramam Yo Tapaha, Paramam Yo Brahma, Paramam Yat Parayanam. That is how it should be understood. Deva should be added to all the places where Yaha is there. So that is what he's another, he's saying. And the word Deva itself is a very beautiful word. It is from Div Dhatu. Div Dhatu itself means what? Light, effulgence. So he beautifully brings that word Devaha into this sloka to say that all that is we are referring to is only the light of effulgence of pure consciousness. That is what we are referring to. That is what he is saying. So that is such an exalted Deva alone is Paramam Parayanam, the highest goal in life. And then he adds the word Ekam, because that is what Yudhishthira asked. Kim Ekam Parayanam, one goal. Right? So Acharya brings that word Ekam here to emphasize that that is the only goal of all the human beings or living beings. So this is the literal meaning of this shloka. So thus Yudhishthira's question, Kimekam Daivatam Loke Kim Va Api Ekam Parayanam, is fully answered by Bhishma in this shloka. Okay, we will stop here and see the next shloka in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all.
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om. Harihi Om.
Thank you very
Namaste,
much.
Mama. Thank
Namaste,
you.
Thank
Guruji.
you.
Namaste,
Hari
Guruji.
Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Thank you, Guruji.
Raghuji, I have a question, Raghuji.
Yes,
See,
please.
you are talking about Sadhyo Mukti, right? I understand. But why still people, even Vedanta circle, they use the word Jivan Mukti? That means Jivan Mukti is not right, because Jivan Mukti is liberated in this life. That means what is there to liberate? As you said, there's nothing to liberate because you're already liberated. So Jivan Mukti is not accurate word, right? It exists because people who have not clearly assimilated, right? Is that what do I take it as?
All these words, Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti, are all used from the standpoint of a Ajnani.
Ajnani. Okay. I
For a
see.
Jnani, there is no Jivan Mukti, there is no Mukti happening at all.
At all. Yes, I understood,
For
but
a
I was
Jnani,
curious
it
why
is
people.
eternally Mukta only. But
Yeah,
what happens
Nitya
is,
Mukta.
here, the entire knowledge, teaching is given to whom? To an Ajnani.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So we are all learning. So these words are all used. That's why Shastra, takes us, holds our hands and takes us from stage to stage, step by step.
Mm.
So if we straight away say you are eternal mukta and all that, what people will understand? First of all,
Yes.
their mind mukti itself is after death you get moksha.
Yes.
In order to break that thinking itself is a very big task. How can I get moksha when I am alive? Is the question. And Dvaitins, I tell you, if you read Brahma Sutra, Bhashyam, these are all answered there. They say that mukti, moksha means the body should be gone. So that means there will be no jnani. The moment you get self-knowledge, you are dead. Nobody will be there to teach, isn't it? Because that is their theory. Their theory is if you get mukti means you have to go away from this world.
Yes.
So all these Shankaracharya refutes that it's illogical to talk about all these things. In fact,
No, I understood when you reminded me when Swamiji talks. I heard.
yeah.
But
From
what
a
I was,
Jnani's point
here
of
I'm
view,
not here with Swamiji, so
yeah.
it's just for Ajnani. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Any more question?
Guruji, I missed the meaning of the word prakrishtam.
Prakrishtam means eminent or what I can say, magnificent. Prakrishtam. You will get, if you see the dictionary, the word prakrishtam, many of these meanings are given there. So Adi Shankara, what he has done is that he has used one meaning at one place to say that you should not, otherwise it will become little probably boring. Same meaning giving. So different meanings he gives. And that meanings are relevant also in the particular context. Eminent, magnificent, prakrishtam, superior. Take all those meanings.
Thank you.
Yes, any more question?
No, thank you. Thank you, Ravi.
Nava.
Oh,
Okay, then we will close and continue in the next Sunday. Okay.
Namaskar. Namaskar, Guruji. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you.